Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this card making project. In this project we're going to create a card that is using lots of Anna Griffin goodies. It's a really easy card to make, but when you've made it you'll think, oh, that looks quite complicated now, but it isn't. It's just how it's all put together. Everything I do use I shall put on my blog in a list. There's hundreds of other projects on there, so please check out my blog. If you've ever got any questions, you can approach me and ask on my blog or on Facebook. I can't reply on YouTube. And I know I'm saying this every time and I'm saying I'm like a broken record. Well, for any new viewers, they might not know. So I have to keep explaining because I don't want to appear rude. So, and I just want to say the other thing before we go on, because I know you don't want me to waffle too much. Thank you for the messages. I really appreciate them, for the ladies and gents that have said, you know, how much they enjoy my ideas, because I enjoy what I do to show you the, you know, to make the videos. So, and if you enjoy them, then we're both happy. So thank you so much. Okay, enough of me chattering. So the first thing we're going to need is our base card. This is a 7x5" base card. It's my favourite size. I know, you're indulging me by letting me use these sizes. So that's how it looks on our cardometer. Cardometer is something that I've created to give you at home the perspective of what size the card is, so that you can see that the largest on my cardometer is the A4. So then you'll know that what the A4 size is. A5 is A4 folded in half. This might be called something else across the pond, as an A3. And then this is our 7x5 that we're using. So it just gives you an idea. And I think it's all just to confuse me really with the sizes. So first thing I'm going to do, as always, is use my bone folder. This is an implement that's a big word for me today. An implement that creates, gives you the ability to create a good sharp score line along the edge of your card. Even though your card is probably made by a factory and it has a score line in, it's just nice to be able to give it a good professional finish. So we're going to go to the inside first, because I know so many of you, this is the favourite bit and you only watch for ideas for the insides. But tell you what, today stick around and watch it all and see the front being made as well, because I think you might like it. Now my camera's just adjusting itself, so you'll have to bear with it. It seems to have gone a little bit fuzzy. So if I move my, there we go. It likes movement. It likes to be able to go with a movement. So the inside of the card, I've already stamped it and created it really, but I'll tell you how I've done it. I've taken a piece of cream card and I've taken it through my embossing, I can't speak today. I've taken it through my die cutting machine in an embossing folder from the Artful Patterns from Anna in the Ornate Tiles pattern. I've then inked it using worn lipstick, and I've then taken it back through the machine to flatten it, because what you can see is a very nearly, and I won't say it's totally flat, it is nearly there, but you can just see a tiny little bit of raisedness, but you still be able to write on it. It's not too bumpy that your pen won't work on it, because there's nothing worse. Now then, I've gone back to Anna's flip card stamps. Do you remember the amazing flip card kit that we all got with the dies in, and then you could get the upsell kit of the stamps? Well, this is from that. So I've stamped using the border, and then I've stamped using the word happy birthday. And that it just looks so good. It works so well, and it's going to tone in really well with this card. The longest bit about this card really is me chattering. And I promise you, when you see it, you'll think, oh, I can do that. That looks quite easy. I'm going to have a go at that. So that's the inside of our card done. So literally embossed it, inked it, put it through the machine to squash it all back down. And actually on this occasion I did put a sheet of wax paper over the top of it because I wanted to see if that worked any better and helped it. And it made no difference whatsoever. But it kind of did protect it. But it didn't make it any flatter. But I did use a shim because my machine's quite old and I've got a bit of a gap. So I needed to use a card shim and keep adding another layer and another layer till it went through tight to flatten it. So, but that's the inside and it looks pretty already. So now for the outside, I've taken some of Anna's metallic cardstock, and these were the 7x5 layers, and this is in the magenta, and I've run it through the embossing machine, through the die cutting machine, in an embossing folder I should say, and it's the same pattern as on the inside. It's the ornate tiles, and then I've cut it in half. So that's simple, to cut it in half, and then I'm attaching it to the bottom of our card like that. I've taken a piece of the pink metallic layers from the same pack, and I've run that through in the same embossing folder to get the same pattern, and then I've cut this in half, and again I'm going to now add this. I'm going to turn the card round so that I can see it actually, because I want to get it edge to edge just like the one that we've put underneath at the bottom. There we go. So now we've added those to the front of our card. Next, what I've done is I've taken a strip of Anna's, one of Anna's older papers. It's just a pink multi. I'm sure there's a name for it, but I wouldn't like to hazard a guess. And I'm going to add that across the centre of our card, hoping that it's kind of straight. And then I'm just going to trim the edge off. So we've got a little bit of edge from our card there, so we'll just give that a trim, and then I'll trim the other side like so, so that we've got that across the centre of our card. Next, with the embossing folders, there was the embossing folder borders, and this is the ornate tile embossing folder border. So I embossed the same colour as the magenta from the layers, and then added it across the centre of our card. Next, now this is the bit where I'm a little bit, I do a mixture of things. We go back to the flip card dies that were in our card making kit, and I've cut them out in magenta and pink. I've cut them in half and then I've swapped the halves round, so we've got the dark and the pink together, and then the pink and the dark underneath, and then I've filled it in with a piece of the rose paper that we've used underneath the border. I've got flat tape on this, and I'm just going to simply add it to our card roughly the right way around. So we've got the dark pink on the light pink background, and then the light pink on the dark pink for contrast. So just straighten that up a little bit. This is one of Anna's favourite sentiment stickers. So I'm simply peeling the back of it away, and I'm going to add that to the centre where we've married up the middle bit, so it covers up the join, as it were, like that. And then I'm going to finish the card off with a little bow, and I'm going to put it at the bottom like that. And that is our card finished. Now, how different is that? Using all the embossing would take just minutes to put together because it's just so easy. But you see how it looks as if you've taken ages to think about it and put it together, and it's just, you know, it's one of those cards that creates an illusion, I think. Stands up nicely. It's not too high for postage. You've only got the layer of the sentiment, really, because you've got flat layers. It's just a little bit of embossing. The inside matches perfectly to the outside. I've even managed to nearly get the top in the same place as underneath, and that wasn't through thinking about it. So, gold star to Anne-Marie there for getting them in the same position. Good job I didn't decide to go to this side, isn't it? Would have been a bit, you know. But anyway, so I think that the shades of the pink and the contrast, it all works so well together. It really is a good, easy card to create. And it gets us using our embossing folders because they don't have to add that extra bit of texture, she says in a good Yorkshire voice. Because that's what they're there for, to create the, you know, the texture and something a bit different. So I'd just like to say thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.